unless we're going to be surprised, right? The Fredrin doesn't go into the jungle.
Yeah, it might go into the XP lane.
Okay, we have a Valentina. And there's the Yuzhong. Okay, so now we got
Okay.
our XP lane not answer.
Okay. So called it. Valentina was still on the board for ONIC Philippines. And how is this? But there's a lot of magic, but against the lineup of Smart Omega. Where's the boat now? Where's the boat weighing in this game?
They might be leaning towards a Ruby at this point. Maybe even something really new. Because not only do they need a peel for the Lancelot, they need a peeler for the rest of the team. But then there's a lot of pressure on the Arlott here. I think this is just also the rush onto the Lancelot that got that's biting Omega in the behind right now.
Okay. So let's see.
A high loss? I don't know.
Okay. We're just all over the books here for Smart Omega.
Cho's open. But no, you don't expect. I mean, in the hands of Miko, I don't know how I feel about the entire lineup of like Smart Omega looks almost like it looks like it makes more sense is what I'm trying to say, right? But at the same time, when you look at ONIC Philippines, you're putting a lot here also in that the Natalia, right, for Kakadu.
We're just trying to read through the draft right now, and with all points considered, maybe because if the Cho being the last pick or option by Smart Omega, there's a lot of ways that ONIC Philippines could evade those kills in early game state, right? So maybe it's their own way of executing this, but how is this, Renmar? And looking at all of this one, and then going back to your analysis back then, it was clearly just me wondering, maybe this is just Smart Omega's way of flavoring this game, and how it took in game number 1. It was 30 or almost 32 minutes. Let's see how it goes. But at this point in time, early game, and the macro ability, I'm leaning towards ONIC Philippines with this one. We have a Natalia game.
Okay. So for the side of ONIC PH, there's going to be a lot of pressure, as Nice said, onto the Natalia, but Ryota as well. If ONIC PH pull this off, it might be on the back of an MVP performance on Ryota. With them not having a traditional tank, it's going to be the Yuzhong providing a lot of the space here. On the side of Omega, however, the question is, who are they going to pick off, and will they have the damage to supplement that? Because Omega are severely lacking magic damage. That Lancelot is going to be built for tank. It's not going to be the damage Lancelot that we know. It's the Tankcelot that we're familiar with. So it's going to be an over-reliance on Kelra here. ONIC has magic damage, the burst physical coming in from the Natalia, and then the Fredrin as well. So on paper, it looks much more balanced for ONIC. So again, there's so many questions here in terms of like how these two teams are going to pull it off, because it's both of them ended up drafting incredibly unorthodox. Actually, Omega seems a little bit more orthodox here, but the lack of magic damage might hurt them.
Okay, so at this point, I'm going to leave it up to the pros. Unorthodox ways requires unorthodox measures, okay? I'll leave it up to them. They have good judgment on this.
That's a great way to put it.
Yeah. And they are made for this. So let's see how the story goes. I'm excited how to even witness this, because at this point, Omega is just trying to have the algo of the first objective. That is the turtle up against 3 members of ONIC Philippines. Call the cavalry in. Everybody's here.
Yeah, and everybody's got pretty much their level 4s for the most part, too. They're going to go in, focusing on Miko. They get the flicker out. Still going to be fighting forward. It's Ryzen. That does secure it. Nice little setup there. It looks like they're just going to disengage. So, no one falling. But Smart Omega able to grab that turtle. And, you know, it's funny because you were all asking those questions, OSX, and I was just sitting here thinking, you know, it's nice. It's nice to be kind of perplexed.
Yeah.
Because we're so used to seeing a very similar draft patterns and drafts, and it's nice that you actually see something like this. And yeah, you leave it up to the pros. They've obviously got a playstyle in mind here, but it's interesting to see how it all does unfold, especially with the lineup that ONIC Philippines has.
Well, let's see. Okay, let's start with one thing in mind. So let's not go over the place, because for me, the lineup that we're trying to break down right now is unorthodox as we speak. But let's think of the macro capability of these two teams. We have Natalia, we also have Cho. We have pickoffs, we have surprise ganks, we have steals. But in this point in time, Omega is really a good job in the hands, well, Meek on the other hand, preventing so much vision on Kekadut that he can give for his team.
And that's what pretty much Megan just need to do at this point. And Kekadu is actually having a difficult time finding those pickoffs, those entries that you want as Natalia. But there's one.
Nico gonna enter that bush. Can't get away that time. Didn't have the flicker available to him. First blood being drawn by ONIC Philippines, and it goes in the hands of Kekadu. So being on this hero, Natalia, the way that it works, that's already a nice little momentum effect that's going to go in the hands of Kekadu to allow him to be a little more confident, finding these picks, putting pressure, especially when it needs to be. And that's also on Keller as the game unfolds.
Yeah, that was a good call there by ONIC. So they were able to pull that off only because Nets had the lane or minion advantage. So the moment he knew that Keller wouldn't have room to even make it to the shielding, he went ahead into the mid lane so that they can secure the kill onto the Miko. This is great positioning by Miko, though. Nice.
Miko gets away the dragon off. Should be a kill here. They get the brilliance out. Kekadut there now to back him up. The flicker comes out from Nets, too. Kekadut now on the focus on Kelra. Gonna get knocked up. Can't get it, though. Gets punished. Now Kelra with a kill here, and Smart Omega working on the turtle. Ryzen secures it. Now Renzio gonna get the brunt of the damage here. Super Prince making his way. They get the flicker out. Smart Omega turning things around.
We talked about unorthodox drafts, unorthodox methods. Omega are just going full orthodox right now. Very principled, very fundamental, not giving an inch of room for the Natalia to make a play. Although he almost got Keller there, he didn't have his execute up at that moment. So without any access for pickoffs, Ryzen actually even able to freely jungle. We have to talk about the Ryzen factor now, the Lancelot factor. First two major objectives going into the hands of Ryzen. That turtle was contested, but Ryzen was still able to secure it. So this is just pure willpower by the jungler of Omega.
Sensui gonna get kicked away from his team here. Can they get the damage out? The Cult Altar comes out too. Kekadu could be in trouble here, but Kelra doesn't have the damage he needs. Now it's Kekadu that falls to get another flicker. Nice stampede. Super Prince, though, still able to survive for now. They go in, they find another. Super Prince falls. 2 down for ONIC Philippines.
Trade of 2 to 1. That's how they make the Tides go in their end. Because you were talking about how Ryzen could make things work. I say they're upping up their game right now.
Yeah, good call for ONIC. They needed to balance out the controls that Omega was getting on the turtles, but Ryzen able to steal away there the orange buff on Sensui. So it's a level advantage over the Fredrin. Look at the items right now. Gold laner still neck and neck. No clear advantage just yet. Although there is a Blade of Despair already on that Brody.
Nico just entering that bush. Kekadu was waiting for the moment, but they find it now.
They're here.
Nico going to be the focus. Stone trying to help him out. Colt Altar comes out. Disengage again for now. Smart Omega still survives.
Yeah, once we start seeing the full 5v5 team fights, though, we might see a shift in the direction of this story. So little by little, actually, we're even starting to feel it. ONIC getting a little bit more control in the map. They have the turtle advantage here. Let's see what ONIC will do to stop Ryzen. Will Ryzen be able to secure another turtle and the third one for Omega?
ONIC would want this. There's 5 members here. Who's gonna get it? Whoop.
Ryzen, he's gonna watch out. Nats goes in. Sensui able to secure it now. Ryzen on the run here. Can't escape the CC though as he falls to Ryota. Finally getting some punishment back here. Now ONIC Philippines lessens the gold gap, but they still have their work cut out for them. Just like that, they find a little hope.
All right, so Omega actually went for the tower turtle gambit there. They were able to get the tower top side. They gave up the turtle, but they're giving up a tower in the bottom side as well. ONIC clear winners out of that.
Something tells me right now I'm seeing a loophole in Omega, but hold that thought.
Okay, the battle for the purple buff here. Sensui might have been off a little bit more than he could chew, but he goes in. That's hard for Kekadu. He couldn't get the target he was looking for. Still has the execute too, but can he escape? Stampede comes out. Renzio looking for the killing blow here. Can't catch up just yet. Gonna get stunned by Sensui, knocked up as well. And now it's Kekadu that survives.
Sensui with the block. Actually, the Renjo committed the vengeance onto the Crammer there to get a bit closer to Kekadu. But Sasui getting there just in time. Now we're seeing here the question marks that arose from the Omega draft, even though they were a little bit more orthodox. It's now, how are you going to face everything that ONIC will throw at you in terms of the Natalia and the Yuzhong? So far, we've been seeing Miko unable to find that setup because now he's forced to use the way the Dragon as a means to kick away the Natalia when Kakadu comes in.
Okay, so it's all about forcing out resources here. Looking at these items right here, I only see steel leg plates and molten essence. Something tells me in those team fights they need the proper defense items. How do they even hold it? Because Storm is the only one who could actually make a good way of sustaining out life in Smart Omega. And that's one thing they're lacking about. The defense of being in the team fight power of ONIC Philippines.
Yeah, that's what we're talking about. It's all up to the Cult Altar. But let's see if Omega can set up a play for themselves here, but since he has the info.
Sensui gonna get crashed down on multiple members here. They get the Colt Altar out, but they might be in a bad position. Miko gets the way of the Dragon off, finding Kakadu, the right target. They also get the Brilliance out from Nets. The stun's gonna be there. He has to flicker out. Here comes Ryota, the Black Dragon form, looking for the setup himself here. Not gonna be able to find Renzio, but it's Sensui that takes him down. It's a 1-for-1 trade. As the fight for space around the Lord continues on. Ryota just going to be that front line for now as both teams get it situated.
Now, at this point in time, they would want to take this Lord because there are almost 2-member casualties on ONIC and Omega. And we're talking about the defense. On the damage side, it's ONIC's way of pressuring the side of Smart Omega. But I say the Barangay is really doing a great job in terms of micro and macro management to not get ahead.
Yeah, exactly. This game could be so much worse for Omega at this point, but they've done all the right decisions to not give ONIC a clear advantage. Full 5-on-5 though. So far, Stone's timing with the Cult Altar has been crucial for Omega, but ONIC have been counter-punching really well. The timing of Ryota's entry, Kakadu being able to focus down the target as much as he can. Good positioning by Kakadu actually right now in this fight. That's a clear line for the back line of Omega, but Omega understand that and they're adjusting. Again, we're just seeing great individual decisions by both teams right now.
Oh, that's the kick.
Miko going to go in with the kick on Sensui. Still going to be fighting for it. Renzio goes in too. There's the Cult Altar. Keep an eye on Kakadu. He's going to be looking for Kelra if he can find him or any target he can. Get the numbers advantage. Kelra already using torn apart memory. Lord still being worked on here. Now Stone could be in trouble. It's Ryzen that secures the Lord. Kakadu falls here. And right now, Smart Omega still punch it in. A flicker for a flicker. They get the Brilliance out. Stone comes in with a stampede. Finds Nets. The flicker's not going to help him. He didn't have it available. And now the focus on the mid lane.
Omega's Ultra Instincts are shining here. The last thing we mentioned before that all broke out was great individual decision making. That's what we saw there. Kakadu had a clear beeline for Kelra, but the torn apart memory used by Kelra, I don't even think he used that with an intention to find the Natalia. It showed where the Natalia was, hence why Kakadu couldn't dive Kelra or Stone. Speaking of Stone, his timing here with the Cult Altar is one of the main conditions here for Omega, and he's been doing it to near perfection, really holding on to it and making the most out of their main tool to defend and sustain the team.
We're talking about defense here, armor, whatever items, but it is just Smart Omega maintaining and doing a great way of sustaining the team fights. Now they need to worry about where is Kakadu will be coming. Because there's one thing that they need to worry about. The wraparound of ONIC Philippines in terms of damage could be really high if they can't prevent it.
It's crazy because you can see kind of at this point in the game, right? Kakadu, yeah, he got the first blood. He built a little momentum for himself and the team, but at this point, right, mid to late game, it's a lot harder, right, to find the targets that he needs and to continue that kind of threat. He is always going to be a threat, but it's a lot harder for him to actually find these targets here.
Yeah, it's really just been Omega from all positions 1 to 5 doing everything correctly. Credits to Miko for stopping Kakadu from just snowballing all over them. Here comes Omega with a concealed play. Not going to commit anything. Sasui able to secure his purple buff there. At the same time, Ryzen secures on the early turtles of the game as well. This could have gone, again, very soft for Omega with how well ONIC drafted. But Omega said, you know what, we're just going to outplay them, and they've done that. They played this so well that ONIC couldn't find the big lead that naturally they should have had. And it just credits to Omega showing up here against a wonderful draft from ONIC.
Yeah, they just outplay and outlast. Smart Omega is holding on how they are pulling it through. But on to the other end of the late game situation, we have the gold lane Lunox, and we also have a good way of Super Friends of stealing some ultimates. He has the ultimate of Stone, so probably that's one thing that they need to be secure about, is how will they maintain the HP bars and the damage capability of Smart Omega. 4K gold lead. Comparing it to the first game, this was the highest, gap lead that Omega has started up against ONIC.
Yep.
Right now they're gonna have to battle. Whoa, that was a misplay there. Miko in trouble. They get the Cold Holder out in response, but he's ultimately gonna go down. Actually, he's still alive. What? Somehow, even though the mistake was made, Miko lives to call back to base and get back for this dance because, wow, I didn't think he'd survive that one.
Cold Altar still again. Make everything work.
Yeah, and that's a testament to, well, the lead that Omega have built for themselves. Maybe a little bit more items of defense, therefore Miko helped them survive. But you saw their ONIC were ruthless. The moment they saw that committed by Miko, they were quick to react and go for the play. They just couldn't finish the job, but maybe they might now.
Miko back for round 2. Not going to go the same way. He finally falls here. Now ONIC Philippines fighting for this Lord. It's Ryzen and Sensui. Battle of the Retribution's going to go here, and it's secured actually by Kelra. Somehow gets it. Renzio has to flicker out. ONIC Philippines still trying to press this fight on. Ryota pops the Black Dragon form, looking for the team here. Under the turret they go, but it's a little bit too much. They have to back off.
How did Kelra manage to get? He was too far away. I know he's too far away, and he didn't even use his Torn Apart memory.
I think it was close enough to deal some damage onto there. But you saw there the synchronized dive by the members of Echo. The moment they knew, okay, there's no way we can reset this, might as well just dive Sensui. Great timing by the members of Omega there, but ONIC, you saw them, they were positioned well to try and contest that. But again, it's just Omega doing everything right.
Well, that's how game 1 makes you better from losing in that battle, because those windows or those chances, that's how Smart Omega responds and resets in some point in time if you want to take this to game number 3. Well, hey, this is one high caliber match. We all want it. Oh, look.
Well, that's exactly what they wanted to do, right? They get that brilliance out from Nets. They prepare themselves here. They might actually decide to just back off until next objective, but this is the one thing that I gotta say about Smart Omega is this is something you don't often see. Them having this kind of lead this big early on, right? A lot of the times they're known for coming back in the games here. So you don't want to see them let it slip through their hands, because that can still happen, especially even if we take a look at the previous game, right? ONIC Philippines, they're gonna be in a good position to actually defend and contest things, but a lot of it is relying on Kakadu, Super Friends as well. Nets, we haven't seen that type of effectiveness just yet, right, from this Lunox pick, and how it's going to transition into
Miko!
Damage. Miko, though, they're actually finding it out in the mid lane. Ryota going to fall here. Smart Omega just forcing the mistakes out. Kakadu falls. Everything I said can be erased because Smart Omega finds their own moments.
Speaking of finding the right avenues, Kakadu wanted to make an ambush play, and they didn't make the cut even for the defense.
Yeah, it was Miko who found that ambush play with the conceal. Knockups.
Oh! Renzio goes in with the final slash, and they clap back here. They finally get that turret down. Can they extend it on? Or do they look to close the game? Another comes out. Miko with a kick. Renzio is quite low. They're looking to clean up here. Super Prince backs off. Stone goes in. Can't get it. The crystal goes down. And we go to game 3.
We wouldn't have had it any other way. We want to see more of these two teams after the show they put on in game number 1. Now Omega clapping back against the lineup that could have been deadly against them. They somehow found a way to force a game number 3.
Wow, amazing. The lead, the advantage, the micro decisions. They have everything in check. Smart Omega still bouncing back for this game.
I was saying, man, they can't let it slip through their hands. And, you know, Kakadu being spotted out, that's all they needed. So if that was, you know, Miko that found that out and he got that information, you had 2 fall right away from ONIC Philippines. And, you know, from that point, that's match point, right? I mean, that's where you need to be. And Smart Omega, they played amazingly against the fact that this should have been early game, not dominance, but an early game advantage here for ONIC Philippines. And I feel like it was starting there, especially with that early kill, the first blood that Kakadu had. But then, unfortunately for them, they couldn't capitalize on that lead they had early on, and then it just quickly went in favor of Smart Omega.
They just found the right place, the right positionings to stop ONIC from